actual song itself, and you came up with I'm going to say a shot sheet, okay? What was the number one thing that you knew you had to get right?
The chorus. That's why I did the song in the first place. That's a direct appeal to God. Father God, I need you. Father God, I'm nothing without you. Father God, thank you for what you've done in my life. Thank you for bringing me out of all this stuff I done been through. And so I told Nick, I said, you remember I said, if this don't work, the video don't work. Mm-hmm. The red lighting, that sequence right there, mm-hmm. I was like, we gotta feel that. If we don't feel that, mm-hmm. what's the point of the video? You know what I mean? Like, you crying out for help right there. So, does that answer? Which, okay.
It does. And Nick, mm-hmm. when you came up with the lyrics, what do you think was the most impactful out of all the lines? What do you think was the most impactful line and why?
Honestly, like the first two, now that I'm thinking about it, because that set the scene. Basically, the whole story is summed up in those two lines. I say, like, they praying to the Lord at the feet of the devil. I'm praying to the Lord because I'm in reach of the devil. And then after that, it kind of, it unravels from there. You know what I'm saying? Going back to, I guess, later in the song, really what Chris pointed out was very true. It's just like knowing that your ego is the devil. Kind of like, you know, that was all foreshadowed in the beginning, but it's like, that was important to me because it's showing the tug of war, right? You got people who pray to the false god or a false god, and then you got the people who believe in the one true God, however they name them, you know what I'm saying? Not to get into like religious stuff. And so I just, like, there's a holy war going on whether people want to acknowledge it or not. And I think that that's what's important, or at least what was most impactful for me.
I have Chris's comment. I'll read the first paragraph. I mean, who is Chris?
That's my cousin, yeah.
Kinfolk. Mm. So, and he know Nick better than anybody, you know. And so I'll just read the first paragraph. So this is the pinned comment on YouTube. So you go on YouTube and look in the comments. It should be at the top. And Chris is a very deep thinker, and he can see insight and give insight. So I'll read this, all right? From Chris. The opening shot is crazy. It reminds me of those shots in movies where the killer is walking up to the victim and has the victim in their reach, which fits the lyrics, at the feet of the devil and in reach of the devil. Later in the song, he says, know your ego is the devil, which I think the opening shot portrays. He is at the feet of himself and the camera is closing in until he is within reach of himself. He wakes up startled and sweating like people do when they have a nightmare. But I think it goes deeper. I think his nightmare is his inner war with himself. They say every idea begins with a thought, and you can't control your thoughts, but you can control what you give them by choosing to dwell on them or not. And they say you usually dream about what you were thinking about the most before you sleep. So I look at it as his ego has him confused about who he really is. That started with the thought, hence the line, demon done been seated. But it has continued to get stronger because he continues to dwell on the thoughts and believes them. His ego has been feeding his mind lies, and he has been feeding his ego by believing the lies. Hence the line, we've been feeding each other. As a man think in his heart, so is he. I think he realizes that, and that's why he decides he finally faced his demon. Because once he knows who he is, he will always know who he isn't. Hence, he will slay his demon forever. And that's just the first paragraph of this joint. So,
and like, he goes deeper in there, and it like really like, I guess maybe it's because we do got the same type of mind. We blood family. Like, you know, I have a lot of Easter eggs that I write into my music where it's like, all right, bet somebody, cause like Lil Wayne do that a lot. Like it's a lot of time with like J. Cole or whoever. It's like, you know, you'll listen to it one time, you hear it this way, you listen to it again, you hear it another way. Like, oh, that's what he meant. You know what I mean? And like, I try to make my music like that too. Like, but at the same time, it's like you ain't gotta go that deep. It's as deep as you want to go. Yeah.
So I'll let you go ahead and ask some more questions. I just wanted to shout out to Chris and definitely read the comment. He kind of breaks it down scene by scene, and it's really dope. So
Okay, so he asked the question, who are you? Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Nicholas Brooks. That's this physical manifestation of who I am. Who am I? I'm spirit. You know, I'm God, just in this physical body, learning about what it means to exist in this type of body. When I say I'm God, I'm little God, like we're all a piece of Him, big God. I'm a father. I am a son. I am, you know, just trying to be the best version of myself. I don't necessarily know 100% of like who I am. I'm more so like I know what I'm not at this age or at this stage, and like really I just more so just move in what's in alignment with making me feel good. So I guess to sum it up, I'm love. That's what I am. That's who I am. I move through love. Everything I try to do it out of love, you know. And if it's not prompted by love, I try not to do it, you know. And then I just try to dispel any type of hate, you know, that whether it come up in my heart or in other people's heart. You know what I'm saying? It's only two wavelengths, love and hate. So I'm love.
Lance, who are you?
I won't go as deep as Nick. I hadn't even thought about who I am as far as like on a deeper level. But if I was gonna be like really give like a generic like one word, I would say storyteller. As far as I could be writing a story, I could be telling a story. My favorite moment when I knew I had a gift it's not gonna be what you think it is. But this wasn't like telling a great story with great characters and writing a masterpiece. When I knew I was a storyteller, or a pretty, you know, decent storyteller was when I was in LA. I was working at CBS for The Talk as a production assistant. I was telling my coworkers a story for 20 minutes about how I was finding a parking spot to go to my other coworker's stand-up performance. So he was, you know, doing a stand-up performance in it's LA and you can't find anywhere to park. So I told a story about how I was trying to find a parking spot for literally 20 minutes. And if you know me, I like to say every detail, which I guess is why this is a 1.5 hour stream, because I can't help myself. But I was like, and the fact that everybody was like laughing and like paying attention and nobody was getting any work done, a 20-minute story about finding a parking spot, I was like, that's storytelling. That's not just, you know, writing or whatever. So I get that from my family.
And like that's the other thing too. I'm gonna chime in here too. Is like having the blessing of being Lance's friends. I know about the stories that like y'all don't necessarily haven't heard yet or haven't seen yet. Like this dude's a great storyteller. He's a great writer. You know, he has movies that he's written. He has books that he's written that like aren't even out yet. And like that's what I'm excited for too, is for y'all to get to see that growth. And like as we both bud into who we're meant to be in this world.
That's a good one. I actually nobody really knows that I've been writing a book for like 15 years, but it's like my family history going back to the 1860s, and so I just love storytelling, bro. Like, because like I said with the live stream, there's gonna be one person that's like, okay, but what about this part of your life? What about elementary? What about, like, how did you get from here to here to here? And that's literally like us, like my family history. Shout out to my grandma. She's 98, and she knows everything about the family. She knows everything about her grandma, and I ask her every single question there is to ask, because I don't want to be thinking years later there was a part of the story I didn't know. And so I'm a storyteller because I want to know everything. I want to know everything. I want y'all to know everything. So that was a long-winded answer. But that's it.
You guys have been telling stories for a long time. The chemistry between the two of you is obvious. It's undeniable. It's indescribable. It's almost as if there is a brain shared by the both of you. That's the way that it appears once the product is finished. What is your, what do you think is the connection that keeps you guys so succinct, so I don't want to say intertwined, but I will say so connected? Because when you go back and look at the works that you did in the early days, you see the same kind of energy that you see today. How does that happen?
Let me just say, this is Uncle Roger right here. This is his mind. You see him asking these questions. This is like the guy I've had as my mentor. Like, I'm so grateful. He teaches students now, and I always tease him. I'm like, you better not have no student that you like more than me. I better be your favorite. Like, if you think one of them your favorite, I'm gonna do something to top it. So I told you I was gonna keep saying Uncle Roger's name. I mean, there is no me without Uncle Roger, as far as video goes. So,
shared brand. I don't know. I feel like a willingness, one, to like, we've created things together, so we kind of know what it takes to get to the finished product. Like, even like school plays, we used to have to go and rehearse those forever, how long or whatever, to get to a finished product. I think that, and so like seeing the amount of time, the diligence and stuff like that. Also, I think beforehand, I got to give Lance a lot more credit. So I'm more of a raw, big picture person, and Lance, so all right, let's make things more granular. Let's put it on paper. Let's plan it out a little bit more. So I think a lot of the, you know, what you say, like the compatibility or the shared brain thing is more, it's like a yin and a yang thing, because me and Lance we're similar in that, like, we're very smart and intelligent, but we're also very different. And I think that it's our differences that allow us to be well-rounded, or like create something that's whole. You know what I'm saying? And like, honestly, I feel that way with a lot of my friends, and that, like, you know, we're different in a way that we're able to complete each other, or like, you know, make each other whole. And so when I'm thinking about like creating from a place, like, there's also a certain trust there. You know what I'm saying? Like, because oftentimes as an artist, you have a vision for one thing, and, you know, as someone else who's also an artist, they have a vision for something, and like, you just have to trust each other to be like, all right, babe, I see it this way, they see it this way. I'm just gonna trust them on this, because they've put the time in to gain expertise within a certain field or a certain area. So you kind of just gotta trust it. And like, that's one of the problems I would say with, you know, the community as a whole, is that we have to learn how to trust each other and our gifts, instead of like falling into the conditioning that someone else being gifted is a threat to your gift, or a threat to someone seeing you. It's like, okay, how can this be additive? How can we add to each other, you know? And so, yeah, like, and like just even in making this, there's a lot of direction that you don't see, you know, and a lot of the shots that were in the movie, or that were in the music video, Lance is telling me what to do. Like, when we're outside digging, like, Lance is like, yo, dig a little faster. All right, slow down. All right, move your hand up and down, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, reposition your hand, or whatever you want to say, pause. It's like, and for me, I just, as an actor, you just trust your direction that's being given. And then also too, recognizing that you're creating something together. So I provide feedback, you know, Lance listens to that and incorporates it. It's just a dialogue, you know what I'm saying?
I'll give him a good example. So to answer Uncle Roger's question about working together, that's one of the reasons I don't really I haven't worked with anybody else as far as music videos are concerned, because it's gonna be a learning process. And I've known this guy since I was 5 years old. And so it's certain stuff, he knows what I expect, I know what to expect from him. And if you want a specific example, this opening shot, which I like it more the more I watch it. It was just a cool shot at first, but like I really. All right, so I told Nick, cause Nick, I don't need to discuss shots, you know, on the front end. But when we were on set, I was like, okay, Nick, this is the shot, cause it was in my head, and I was like, okay, we're gonna be coming in, and then you're gonna wake up out of your sleep, cause you had a nightmare. And the first couple of takes we did it, Nick was just standing or laying still like a zombie, and you know that was kind of on me because I didn't think about what he told me next, which was, he said, if I have a nightmare, I'm gonna be tossing and turning. And I was like, you know what? I would have never thought about that. I'm too focused on getting this shot right. Nick said, I would be tossing and turning. That's the best part, because you know something's coming. You know something is bothering him in his sleep. You know what I mean? And for him to, I mean, that's just he does that obviously, you know, throughout the video and makes great choices as an actor, but you put him tossing and turning with me saying, we're gonna do this shot with you waking up. That's the opening shot.
I expect in a few years that you guys are going to receive some kind of award. I expect that someone from Rolling Stones or from some movie magazine is going to interview the both of you. I want each of you to tell me the one question that you want that person to ask you.
About our life or about our art or our career? What would they?
Period. What is it's like, what is the one question that you wish someone had asked that you haven't been asked yet?
Nick is good at these deep thinking things, man.
Man, I'm thinking about it. I would say,
I'll let you go unless you want me to go. Go.
what's the, like, 'cause everybody talks about, like, right now, no one really talks about what the end goal is. Like, going back to what I said, like, I'm 60 years I'm 40 years in the future. I'm in 2060, looking back on now. Mm-hmm. Most people don't ever ask you, well, then what does 2060 look like? Mm-hmm. So that'll be my question.
I would say, I think they would ask how I was.
What they would ask, what you would want them to ask.
I would want them to ask. I would want them to ask me why, why I was able to do the type of work that I did and didn't veer in a different path. So what I mean by that is, you know, why did I work with Nick 4 times on music videos? Why didn't I veer in a different path and do somebody that's maybe portraying violence because I might get more views or something, or get paid a bunch of money? So I feel like the answer, you know, I would give is that money isn't more important than your values, and it's important for me to impact people, because this could have been a music video of Nick in the club, but is that worth my time? Like, you know, we spent 4 months working on this as far as post-production, and so it's all about art lasting, and you know, that's why I'm selective on my projects that I do, and that's why I put so much kind of detail and just trying to get it exactly right, because, you know, that's a piece of art that'll outlive me. Mm.
Lastly, is there anything that either of you would like to say that I haven't thought to ask?
I would thank everybody for their support. The other videos I've done have had a lot of support, but like I said, I guess to tie everything back together when we first started, the passionate responses and also the prompt responses. Didn't nobody say, give me until next week and then I watch this video? Like, they watch it right then and they're like, you know, exclamation marks, you know, or they might just call me right then. My Aunt Nay, she talked to me for 45 minutes about every detail of the video, almost to a point where I was like, you know, I kind of want to go to Planet Fitness and work out. But Aunt Nay wanted to get it all out. And she was like in the weeds on, on the details. And so that's great though, because, and that's why I always hear everybody out, because you took the time to watch my stuff. And then also Chris wrote 4 paragraphs. Like, I don't take that for granted at all. You could have easily said good job, you know, but like.
There's a lot of people do, and like,
Yeah.
not to shade them either, because it's like people are at different stages in their life and give certain time to things.
But I would just say everybody that shared it, everybody that's giving me a comment, and a lot of the comments weren't like on social media. It was like a DM or a text, and so it's greatly appreciated. And you know me, I'm gonna try to make you guys proud. You know what to expect from me. If I come out with some BS, tell me, like, you know what I mean? Like, tell me, Lance, no, you said you weren't gonna do something with somebody in the club, but then you did it. Like, hold me accountable, because I'm gonna hold myself accountable. And, you know, one thing I've learned from my family is you gotta be true to yourself, be your own person, and be your own leader. And that was instilled on me early on of, you know, you follow what you wanna do. You don't have to do nothing nobody wants you to do or nobody tell you to do. So I appreciate everybody that's reached out, everybody that's watched it, everybody that's been excited about it. And I don't know what's to come. I can't tell you what's next, but I'm gonna do my best to represent myself, my family, my community, and try to create art that'll last and make a difference.
I like that. For me, I just want to say, like, thank you again. Like, this whole process has been kind of a big affirmation for me to just keep going and to keep on pushing. Like, my end goal is, you know, I said it in my post, is to save souls, you know what I'm saying? And like, this is home base, you know what I'm saying? Father God is home base. All the music that I'm making from there is gonna be just really touching and reaching souls, like, you know. So I don't want people to be, oh, you switching up, oh, you got all these different genres, oh, you don't know who you are. Like, no, bro, you gotta meet people where they are. Like, not everybody gonna listen to someone preaching at them. And I ain't here to preach at nobody, but, you know, someone may hear one song and then stumble upon Father God, and it may spark a change. And because like this song, it sparked a change in me, you know. As I listen to it more, or if I find myself veering away from the things that I set or the intentions I set in this song, you know, like, you know, I said that my focus is on my baby, you know, no longer chasing ladies. He got in paper chasing, whatever is out of order. But, you know, I listen to this to get myself back in alignment. And so I just want to say thank you guys for being receptive to me being vulnerable and putting myself out there. Like, being an artist is like one of the hardest things ever, because you're literally showcasing yourself, like your deepest fears, your inner, you know, whatever it is that you don't want to show people. You know, we all have an outer shell that we keep up. And so I just want to say thank you for being receptive when I let my shell down. Cause like, I feel like I do get anxious. I get anxiety when it comes to like my music and putting it out. That's why I haven't put out as much music as I could. Like, I record a lot of music. I write a lot of music. I have a lot of notes on my phone. And in return for the gift that y'all have given me in terms of that affirmation in myself, you know, I want to return that gift and just put out more music to touch whoever it touches the way it does. So thank you guys. And thank you, Lance. Thank DJ K. Wade. Thank you, Uncle Roger. You know, Daniel.
Thank
everybody
you, Daniel.
Everybody that had a hand to play in this.
Thank
like,
you, Bianca.
Bianca, bro, so much knowledge.
And thank you, Uncle Roger. And we appreciate everything, and we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep.
Yeah. This is just the
striving.
beginning. It's just the beginning.